on, guys? Cole here from Naming Industries, and today we're going to be doing a review slash setup video of my GBRS. I think this is their V2. I don't remember which model it is. I don't remember how many models they have out right now, but GBRS belt. I used this thing the entire time that I was on my deployment last year. Used it the entire time on almost all my patrols in some really thick, dense vegetation through the jungles and stuff. Even mounted patrols, dismounted patrols, all of the above. And this thing held up great. However, I haven't really used it very much since I've been home, so I know I'm going to be using it here in the next month or so, so I figured I would kind of just strip it all off, repack everything like my IFAC and everything, and put it all back together, because I had set it up in a way and kind of taken pouches off of it that I needed for my plate carrier, and so I'm just going to set it back up pretty much how I had it before, maybe with a little less on it. So first thing, and this is part of the review, but as I talk through it, the sizing. Size this thing right the first time. This thing is it's an absolute monstrosity to adjust, and that sounds like a complaint, but it's really a good thing. This friction adapter on this Cobra buckle is not going to slip. It's not going to loosen. I promise you that. It is an absolute monster to adjust this thing. I hate doing it every single time, but if it's bulking season, it's cutting season, you gotta make adjustments, and it almost makes trying to bulk or anything not worth it when you come back to this thing and you're like, oh my god, I have to adjust this now. It's a nightmare, but it's a good thing. It's not going to slip, it's not going to loosen. As I've heard my friends that have used other brands of belts, other well-known, very popular brands of belts, they weren't very big fans of it, and they actually switched over to this because it never slipped. So there's that. When it comes to adjusting it first, make sure you adjust it properly the first time so that you're not having to go back and deal with it again. Thank me later. So since this is how it's set up when I'm wearing it, right around my waist, the way that I run my belt, and I'll kind of build it out as I'm talking, but I'm a right-handed shooter, so I run my holster not directly on my 3 o'clock, but a little bit forward, maybe like 230-ish. That's just kind of a personal preference thing. I don't like having to reach all the way back, and it just feels unnatural. I like to be able to reach down and the gun is just right here. I don't like to have to reach back, especially when I'm wearing more kit and all that stuff. I just want to be able to have a very natural draw stroke, so I like to have my gun really like right here, not so much back here. So as I put this on, what I like to do is I like to pick each individual pouch that I'm putting on. I'll put the belt on where I'm going to be wearing it normally, and then I'll pick exactly which 2 rows of MOLLE I'm going to use, like for my holster, and I'll take the belt off and I'll mount the holster. I will run my 2 STAC pistol mag pouches. We've done reviews on these a long time ago. These are my go-to. I just think it's one of those arguments for the gear manufacturing world is, how do we offer something that is better than what has already been made? And I feel like a lot of companies have tried. I haven't tried every company's pistol magazine pouch, but I have a hard time finding something better than this. And even though I'm somebody who likes to try new stuff, I like to try new gear and just to see what's out there, I've never been able to go away from the STAC pistol mag pouches, or the rifle mag pouches for that matter, because they just work so well. And they're so simple and streamlined. There's no excess anything on it. It's just fabric wrapped around a Kydex insert that I can just pull that insert out because it's only velcroed inside. I can pull that Kydex insert out and take a lighter to it and mold it to adjust it for retention. So it's just simple, streamlined, efficient. It works seamlessly. There's nothing on there that you don't need, and there's everything that you do need, and that's all I need when it comes to a pistol pouch that's going on my belt. So we have 2 S-Tac pistol pouches, one S-Tac rifle pouch, and that's what I like to run. So going around from the left side, I run 2 pistol mag pouches, and then I also will run this Blue Force Gear dump pouch. It's like one of those micro, rolls up really small, so that if I'm not using it, it's almost like it's not even there. But if I didn't have, like, I would just have a gap of space. I would have two pistol mag pouches, I'd have a gap of 2 rows of molly, and then I'd have my rifle mag pouch, because I like to have my rifle mag pouch on my side, not up here. That's more of like my plate carrier sitting right here. If I have that rifle mag pouch right behind the 2 pistol mag pouches, then it's usually digging into my front plate bag or digging into my stomach if I'm sitting over. So I like to have it more actually on my 9 o'clock. So there's that. That's more of a fitment thing as it works with the rest of my kit. So in that little gap, I will put my dump pouch. That way I'm not having to reach back to either stow anything or grab anything out of it. It's all right here with the rest of my stuff that I am needing to access all the time. And on patrols, I'd usually just carry a bottle of water or some snacks or something in that. It's nice that this specific one, I'm sure there's plenty of other great options out there, but I just liked how small this one could roll up. If I didn't need it, it was as if it wasn't even there. So there's that. Around the back, I do run a secondary IFAC. I have one on my plate carrier, and I'd also run one just on my belt. And I like having this just if I'm not wearing a plate carrier, if we're just at a pistol range or even at a rifle range, and we weren't necessarily wearing plate carriers or anything, then I could just run an IFAC and I still had that medical coverage on my body. So I would run this. This is the GBRS one. I don't really have any complaints about it. One thing that I did do was the elastic for the tourniquet holder was a little bit loose when I first started using it, and my tourniquet was kind of sliding out. And so all I really did was, you might not be able to see it very well, but I ran an extra line of stitching down the back side of it just to add a little bit of extra retention on there, make it a little bit tighter, and it still slides out nicely. I'll do it for the video. I didn't want to do it. There's probably still Africa dust in there. But still slides out very nicely. There's no issues with it. It's not overly tight. It's tight enough to where it doesn't fall out. So that's what I run. Pretty much center line on my back. And then for deployment, I was running a pouch on my right side of my hip back here behind my pistol. And that was usually, depending on what we're doing, I might have a VS17 panel in there, maybe some land nav equipment, my Garmin, some extra batteries, but I might throw my nods in there. I would usually use the Spiritus Systems GP pouch that has a little tie down point on the inside, and that was just so I could clear up more real estate on my plate carrier. I would throw my nods on my belt just so I could have less pouches that I needed to have on my plate carrier, just to kind of make that a little bit more minimalist. I actually had a nice tie down point that I could tie that down and stow it in my belt. So that's just what I did. But that's pretty much it for my whole belt setup, and I'm going to go ahead and assemble the belt now. And just as I'm kind of assembling this, as you'll see, it's got the Tegris lined throughout it. It's much easier to actually be able to feed stuff if you bend the molly back onto itself, or the belt rather, back onto itself, just so you can have a little bit of extra gap in there with the Tegris to feed your Alice clips or whatever it is through there. And the only thing about this belt, and again, it's a con, it's a downside as you're setting it up. It's a pro when you're actually using it. This belt is so rigid and so tight, it makes mounting, that's what she said, it makes mounting anything to it a nightmare. Adjusting it is a nightmare. Once you get everything on there, it's like, oh my god, this is amazing. I'm so happy that this is as rigid as it is. So there's that. Pros and cons. A con becomes a pro once you go through the nightmare that it is to actually get this thing set up. Then it's awesome. Alright guys, so the belt is set up. Last thing is actually refilling my IFAC. So all of the contents in that IFAC had been used throughout the entire course of that deployment, of all the patrols, And I've never been to Ranger School, but something that we learned the hard way is to waterproof everything. So don't just go stuffing loose IFAC contents into a pouch. Waterproof your stuff. And this kind of just ends up being like my own little insert, as the inside of this IFAC is just a big open pouch. It's kind of nice and stretchy, so you can fit quite a bit in there. But yeah, so I'm just going to fill contents up about to the size of the pouch itself, and then we'll just fold it over and just have some excess. This is the only little Ziploc bag that I had lying around, so we're just going to make this work. I have some fresh IFAC contents here that I'm just going to fill this little baggie up with. So stay tuned. And there you go. Nice little pillow on your back. I didn't throw anything too crazy in there, just a few 2x2 pads, some one 4x4, and then some gauze and some Curlix wrapping tape. So nothing too crazy, but now I'll actually put it on so you guys can check it out. All right, so this is it as it'd be worn. All right, gun is not fully back at the 9 o'clock, just a little bit forward, so I'm not having to reach all the way back here. It's just nice, comfortable draw. Pistol mag pouches up front, little space for the dump pouch here. Rifle pouch is directly behind that, almost directly on my 9 o'clock. Then we have the IFAC directly in the center of the back, as best I could get it. And that's pretty much it. Not really anything on here that I don't need. Everything that I do need. And this is exactly what you'll see me running our classes in. So thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, everything that is on my belt is all stuff that I have used on a deployment. It's all lasted through a 9-month deployment with quite a bit of patrolling. So I trust everything on here. I trust how I had this set up. I have no complaints. All of this stuff is quality. Okay, you can't go wrong with the STAC patches. You can't go wrong with the Blue Force Gear dump pouch if that's what you're looking for. The GBRS IFAC is great. It's nice. I love having the internal contents being able to be in a package like a waterproof bag, and then having a tourniquet accessible on the top. Reminder that this is just a supplementary IFAC. My full main IFAC is actually on my plate carrier. This is just something small to supplement it in case I'm away from that. And then, like I said, not running any pouches or anything back here like I was on deployment, because I don't have night vision that I'm carrying with me everywhere I go all the time anymore. But so nice empty space, nothing really impeding the draw stroke over here, but everything is just nice and as it should be. That's pretty much all there is to it. So if you have any comments or questions about my setup, feel free to put them in the comment section below. Let me know how you have your belt set up, and let me know what's different. If you have different pouch preferences or questions on why I'm not using some pouches, I'd love to have all those conversations. So put those in the comment section below. Check out all the other social media. Everything is at Nemean Industries, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of that stuff is all at Nemean Industries. Check out our website for the new merch, new hat, new shirt. I was wearing the hoodie earlier in this video. Check out all that stuff. It's all awesome, high quality. I'm finally satisfied with everything. I don't know that I would pay that much money for a belt again, but because I did pay for this belt, I won't ever need another belt, if that makes sense. Buy once, cry once, I guess. Right? Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.